Hi everyone, welcome to my review. Frank Capra's Mr. Smith Goes to Washington from 1939. As yes, we are back once again to discuss a Frank Capra film and of course a Jimmy Stewart film. These two guys of course paired up again for this film, and of course they'd made a film before this. Of course you can't take it with you, but yes, Mr. Smith Goes to Washington, is one of the most famous kind of Frank Capra films, Jimmy Stewart films, and in a general sense, is hailed as one of the best films ever made quite often. And yes, there will be spoilers for this film within this kind of discussion here. And yes, if you haven't seen the film, I simply recommend watching it. I really recommend this one. This really is a very, very special film, and I saw this for the first time, during in between Christmas and New Year. But yes, I recommend seeing it first, and then come back to this discussion. And if you want, you can kind of share your thoughts in the comments on this film. Frank Capra, Jimmy Stewart, what you want to do there. It'd be great to hear your thoughts. But yes, once again, that said, of course, yes, HMV premium title here, and really loved going through these kind of HMV premiums, of course, over the last kind of year or so. Really kind of loved doing this, and great release, and really so glad to have this in my collection, of course. And yeah, saw this for the first time, as I say, very recently, and I planned on watching this and then rewatching, of course, a very, very famous and festive Frank Capra film. But I wanted to see this one first to just see one I hadn't seen before, and of course to kind of build it up, because the film that I was referring to, it's one of my absolute favourites, and it's always a great event to kind of watch that around Christmas time, and yes, just before Christmas or in between Christmas and kind of New Year. It's no different really for me, just around this time. But yes, I'll be reviewing that film as well very, very soon, I hope. But yes, I was really, really hyped, of course, to see this film, and heard so much praise for this film, and it's usually, as I say, usually kind of acclaimed, at least as one of the best films ever made. And I guess I was kind of holding off, on this, and I'd heard about this film for a number of years, at least a decade. I kind of I'd really wanted to kind of see this film, and really hearing about this film, and yeah, I guess it's took this long because I guess I've tried to wait a bit, and really kind of save it for a few Jimmy Stewart's down the line, and see some of his other films before this, I guess. And he is one of my favourite actors, of course, top three, no doubt. And I think he was just one of the ultimate kind of actors, and so many films, so many pairings, of course, with some of the very, very best, as we know, directors of all time, including, of course, Hitchcock, with 4 films that he was in, of course, by Hitchcock. And yes, finally saw this, of course, and wow, really, this film here, such a special film, no doubt for me, an absolute masterpiece, and one of the best films ever made. I have to agree, straight away with that statement. I just do. This film, it moved me so much, and it just straight away, just had me invested, and all this kind of stuff. Obviously, a political film. You could say it's kind of. It starts off, you could say, more light and I guess comedic, and I would say though it does kind of straight away kind of show this epic scope, this narrative, and it really sets it up in a grand fashion. But it really is a film that starts off more lighter, and it goes in some to some dark places. Of course, really kind of exploring the system, political system, of course, greed and corruption, and just injustice, and how things can seem to perhaps this naive, of course, well-intentioned man, to be just this this strange kind of system where things do not make sense. Why is this happening? And this, of course, Jefferson Smith, of course, Jeff, who is kind of that's as referred to really mostly in the film. Jimmy Stewart plays this kind of individual, and he's very early on kind of offered this position, of course, this vacancy, of course, of this U.S. senator, and to, of course, come to Washington, and yes, the rest of it, kind of unfolds from there. It's a sense of wonder, though, straight away, to the way in which he's reacting, of course, to Washington, and seeing the sights, and feeling the history, I guess, and all these different ideals that, for example, Abraham Lincoln, kind of stood for, and all this kind of stuff, and he's, in awe of this. He's really taken aback by this, and you could say, it starts, as I say, it starts off very, very light, and kind of comedic, and I guess really it's very much a film that's very quick in the way things escalate at first, and very, very much quick cutting, you could say, overlapping as well, and just the editing is very, very smooth, and very much a very quick kind of first act in the way it kind of develops and unfolds, and sets things up. Very, very subtle at times, but it's got this grand feeling. This just this really special or inspiring feeling in the way in which, for example, Washington is presented, and just the way in which he arrives, at Washington, at his post as well. Just the characters, the side characters, of course, they're introduced very, very quickly. It all really happens with such ease, I find. Just the way in which Capra, is introducing these different characters, of course. Saunders being, one of the best characters in the film, of course, played by, yes, Jean Arthur, and once again, she is wonderful in this film, and just so, so good. And this romance is one of my favourite kind of aspects of this film, and just seeing these two characters form this kind of relationship, and the way in which she as well really has these kind of good kind of strong values, of course, and she kind of shares this of course with Jeff, but this this kind of character of as well, Moore, played by Thomas Mitchell, and yes, Thomas Mitchell in this film, and he was in, it seems like he was in kind of every film back then, just so many different films that he was in. I count some of my favourites, and he was just such a great actor, and of course also in It's a Wonderful Life, and just a legendary individual, and always bringing this this kind of warmth, and just this kind of magic to the overall experience of a film that he was in. And of course these two characters, though, kind of aiding Jeff, and obviously as well we have Claude Rains in this film as Senator Joe Payne, and of course kind of a history that they have, because Joe Payne was friends of Jeff's father, and of course they knew each other, and as a kid, of course, we learn that Jeff kind of really idolized, for example, Joe Payne, and he kind of looked up to him, and this kind of a hero figure, you could say, but as I kind of suspected very early on, we learn gradually, though, over the course of the film, that Joe Payne is not what he kind of preaches to be, and in the final act is when it really comes full circle, and we really learn there's some deep kind of nastiness to this character, and just this kind of inhumane feeling that I get from this character in the final moments, but of course, as we know, Jeff prevails in such epic fashion. I must say, this really is one of the most epic, legendary films that I've seen, and just the way in which the final act, literally the entire final act of this film, is all set in the courtroom, and it's literally just seeing these characters, of course, that are all kind of set up so wonderfully, all interacting in this courtroom, and mainly they're centered around Jimmy Stewart and Claude Rains, kind of going back and forth, this conflict that emerges, of course, and it's through the good intentions of Jeff, and of course he's leader of the the national the kind of the Boys Rangers, and of course he wants to set up the National Boys Camp, and it's in a location though where, of course, conflicting with this dam that is being kind of propositioned, of course. Claude Rains, his character Joe Payne, kind of being told not to allow this to happen, and just showing the corruption and the greed of the system, and kind of conflicting with the good intentions, and just the desire to I guess give these individuals, of course, these kids, the kind of sense of freedom and kind of outdoors feeling, and just to learn values and ideals, of course, and teamwork as well, I guess, and all this kind of stuff, and really just to benefit the individuals, and as well as being kind of put in a situation, I guess, to learn different lessons, and to really take something they can kind of use for the rest of their lives. And obviously always in this film, Jeff is focusing on the kind of needs of others, and just humanity, but of course we have that clashing with the system and those higher up, and the kind of corrupt feeling, and of course the greed, and I think this film really, I guess one of the things I got from this film is really the sense of losing the way for the system, and the way in which those involved, those corrupt, have kind of lost the way, and the whole kind of founding kind of ideals, for example, that Abraham Lincoln really believed in, and fought for, all of this right in front of everyone in Washington. So we have all this kind of this real sense of I guess patriotism that's in the country, but kind of conflicting very ironically with the actual way in which things turning out in this film, and the way in which the sense of these ideals in a sense have been lost, and in this film, of course. And I find that to be really, really affecting, and just really something to really get thinking about, and just the way in which the whole kind of original intentions of, for example, Abraham Lincoln is kind of being lost, and twisted and warped, and kind of used in a particular way for greed, the greed of men, and just the system, and how corrupt is, at least in this film, how it's presented in this film, and just such a kind of powerful film, in that sense, and also kind of, I love how at first, we see it through the eyes of course, Jeff. He's kind of in the sense of awe, Washington, and all those, around this, and just kind of seeing the sights. Of course, he leaves, without kind of telling people at one point, and he goes off, and he just kind of wanders about, Washington, and I loved this so much, just seeing the sense of joy, on Jimmy Stewart's face, and the sense of wonder, and it really is quite overwhelming at times, and very emotional straight away, but it's kind of, as well at the same time, very comedic, and really kind of balancing out this the comedy and the drama so wonderfully. But we have this kind of the way in which Jimmy Stewart is just idolizing Washington, and just seeing the sights, of course. But yes, we have Jeff, kind of trying to set up this bill, of course, to pass this bill, of course, for creating the National Boys Camp, and he soon realizes, through the help of Saunders, the guidance of her, that this is harder than one would expect, and this is when he really starts to soon after this realize, how the shortcomings of the system, and just how just how ludicrous things are at times to get just a wholesome, I feel, bill passed for these individuals, and to set up this camp, and as well he realizes after a while the actual intentions of those, and Jim as well, Jim Taylor kind of tries to kind of dissuade this from happening, and tries to corrupt Jeff, and then eventually kind of when Jeff does not kind of give in to this, and join them, when Jeff really stands up for the right thing, and to kind of persevere through this system, and just for the good, of this camp, and I guess just standing up for liberty in a general sense. After this, they try to kind of bring him down, and kind of try to wreck him in that sense, and it's such a powerful film, and just so it's unbelievable, of course, but seeing many parallels, of course, with the different characters, and how you know, at first they're set up, and we see these different things happening, of course, but we really don't know until the second half of the film, you know, especially the final act, the true extent of this corruption, and the true extent of how far they will go, you know, to get what they want, you know, to be, you know, greed, you know, how the greed has kind of overtaken them, and you know, they're really reckless in this. Of course, you know, the heart of this film, and you know, the individual, of course, that pushes through, you know, is Jefferson Smith, and we have this, of course, aiding of different characters, you know, this kind of supporting, you know, Jeff, but, you know, for example, Saunders, but, you know, really, you know, it's this individual, of course, standing up for the right thing, and to push through, you know, this corrupt, you know, kind of warped system, and you know, all these different, you know, nasty individuals, and to really just push through, and you know, the sense of hope, you know, to this film, and just the feel-good nature of this, you know, it's just, it really is remarkable, and it just uplifted me so much, and we have this determination that is just so inspiring to see, and you know, I loved Jimmy Stewart in this film. You know, for the record, you know, I think, you know, just, and he brings this kind of innocence to the role, naivety, of course, and you know, this kind of charm. But you know, in the end, it's, you know, an overpowering feeling. You know, this character, kind of explosions, you know, outbursts, you know, of passion. You know, just, it's very strange. You know, kind of hard to describe, but it's just overwhelming. The acting in this film across the board, you know, Claude Rains, every time, you know, I see him in a film I've not seen him in, or just rewatch a film, you know, just with him in it, you know, it kind of, it really surprises me all over again, just how, you know, masterful Claude Rains was, you know, as an actor. I guess, you know, perhaps an underappreciated actor, I feel, because every single thing, you know, I've seen him in is just remarkable. You know, he kind of plays, in the end, you know, this villain, yeah, just one that is not initially set up to be the primary villain, but you could say that he was, you know, in the end, and just this kind of complexity, though. You know, he's not a villain at times, and he kind of is. It's just a complex character, but you know, Jimmy Stewart, you know, in this film is off the charts. You know, he really, I think, you know, gives one of his very best actually performances, and I've seen many films, you know, Jimmy Stewart, and you know, I think even still, you know, and seeing this just one time, of course, it's all I need to kind of realise that this is one of his very, very best roles. And you know, of course, this film was nominated for 11 Oscars, and just you know, only won one Oscar, of course. But you know, there's many, many films that came out. You know, just tough competition, of course. But you know, I think you know, Jimmy Stewart, you know, just in a general sense, gives more than you know, an Oscar-worthy performance, you know, in this film, and I think, you know, just you know, this is one of the best performances that I've ever seen, and you know, just like you know, he could do, of course, the legend that he was, you know, just on occasion, you know, just string together so many different emotions, and just, I think, you know, channeling these ideals, of course, and really just becoming the character. You know, I think even though he is praised so much, you know, Jimmy Stewart does not get the credit, not quite the credit that he deserves as well, because he really, you know, is a contender for me, the greatest actor of all time, and you know, it's just unbelievable to see him playing this character, and just, you know, just how much I was invested in this character, and rooting for this character, and literally agreeing with you know, every single thing that he was just saying, and just wanting him to succeed, and in the end, you know, the real struggle, and you know, literally fainting, you know, Jeff in the end, you know, he prevails, and you know, just so inspiring. But you know, the way which this film ends, you know, I didn't know it would end like this. You know, him actually fainting, of course, for many, many hours. You know, kind of thing to kind of having to stay, you know, kind of you know, in this courtroom, and you know, deliver this speech, and you know, of course, just not backing down, and literally fainting, you know, just during the last kind of minute or so, and we have the kind of the reaction, of course, from different characters, but we don't have, interestingly, we don't have the kind of wrap up in a way of, you know, the relationship, for example, with Saunders, you know, and of course as well, you know, more with Jefferson Smith, and you know, different characters as well. He's not actually there or awake, you know, kind of to see what kind of emerged after him fainting. So it's very interesting, and you know, perhaps I would have you know, loved to see actually how you know, his reaction to this, and just seeing him perhaps just slightly wake up and come round and just be kind of dazed, but amazed at this going on. The kind of the way in which he succeeded and triumphed. But the way in which it ends, is just so perfect. It's just so right and earned. This kind of subtle performance from Jimmy Stewart. It leads to this literally wow, such a kind of mind-blowing and explosive last few minutes, of course. This character just giving his all to kind of deliver this speech and to stand up for what he believes in, and it's just so wonderful. It really is, standing up for liberty, of course, and equality, and of course, this character of Jeff, really kind of valuing nature. A very interesting theme, in the film. The way in which, it's just, I think one of the best scenes that I've ever witnessed. Is perhaps when he kind of describes to Saunders, his way of life and his love of the American West, of nature and the frontier as well. Just seeing him deliver this to her, and just to see this play out earlier on in the film, and just the way in which this this feeling, this ideal of that, and just the valuing, of nature, and the focus on this it rings true, and it carries through the rest of the film, and it's just part of this character, what he believes in, and it's just so inspiring, and it's really a spiritual experience by the end of this film, and I just loved every scene. Of course, Gene Arthur and Jimmy Stewart were together. It's just magic, of course, and the entire film. I think the first kind of 45 minutes and the last half an hour. That's just. When the film consistently is at its best, but I loved every single second of this film, and it's one of the rarest of films that really it starts off so well. The final act, though, is just when it all comes together in such a way that it goes above and beyond what I thought the film would kind of deliver, and it's just one of the rarest of films of this quality, and this kind of perfection and emotion, and just through it's a political film, of course, but it's just so kind of connected to humanity, and it's all just kind of so investing, and so compelling, of course, and so just sincere, and humble, I guess, and really valuing once again the individual, and just in a general sense freedom, really standing up for this, and just outing this sense of greed and corruption within the system in this film, in this story, and it's just a wonderful film. So uplifting, and so powerful, and I just loved it from the start, and just the sense of hope that I felt through this film. But it's a real delayed gratification, and right up until the end, we have this kind of struggle, constant struggle, internal at times, questioning himself, Jeff, but not really, really just, I guess, always kind of persevering and just determined to get this bill passed. But in the end, it stands up for more than that. It's just, I guess, freedom itself, and just standing up against greed and corruption, and injustice, and liars. Really is. It's such a stunning film, this, and so acute in the handling of this kind of matter, and I think just really the sense that I got from Claude Rains' character. I did get complexities. I did kind of feel sorry for him at times, and the way in which, as well, we have this kind of exposition, of course, that Joe Payne was a friend of Jeff's father, of course, and he knew him when he was a kid, and this kind of sadness to that, and how things turn out in the end. Really dark kind of moments, of course, when we have Payne literally about to commit suicide there, and this kind of desperation, of course, and all hope being lost for him. But it's this. The sense of satisfaction I get, from our main character, our protagonist, and what a protagonist he is. He has so many, kind of likable traits, and I guess just someone who is so balanced, and someone who is naive at first, but really becomes this this real confident character, and just channels his his ideals, and just the search for the truth, and the search for equality and liberty and standing up for different ideals that I guess those within this film were pretending to value, but of course did not, and placed greed above these, and really did not care about the people. And this is a thing the film really channels. Frank Capra did this on occasion, and of course Jimmy Stewart is the perfect actor to kind of channel this. Is the sense of the value of the people, just placing emphasis on that, and really kind of making comments on the system in this film, and it's very specific, but it's very general as well, and it's a perfect balance here. It's a perfect balance, of comedy and drama, and romance as well, and just such a wonderful script. We have many lines in the film that are just so perfectly written, and just almost some of the very best lines in cinema. I feel just Jefferson Smith, one of my all-time kind of favourite characters in the film. Saunders, Clarissa Saunders. I love the moment when we learn her kind of real name, and her first name, of course, and the reaction and the lovely moment there with Jeff. It really is just such a beautiful film, this. And just when Jeff is kind of describing the words and the kind of ideals of his father, the sense of I think the quote is trying to always see life around you as if you'd just come out of a tunnel, and this is such an inspiring and beautiful quote, kind of line, but when he's delivering this to Saunders, the whole kind of the whole script here, it's just it's some of the most wonderful dialogue I've ever heard, and just hearing this, and with such conviction, of course, by Jimmy Stewart, when I see him, in this and It's Wonderful Life, and a variety of different films, speaking, these wonderful, lines of dialogue, but just delivering them like this, I really, at times I think, is he, perhaps he is the greatest actor of all time, and that is the highest praise I can give him. It really is, and he's one of my top three, that's for sure. But he really, at times, he is for me, the ultimate everyman, of course, as well. The characters that he played, so many times. But just the kind of way in which he relates all these different ideals, and just this. Perhaps it starts off with this, kind of national boys camp, but it's more than that. It's more than the country. It's it's really representing, the kind of freedom for the entire human race, and it's such a beautiful film, this, and it's doing it for a very specific kind of narrative and set of circumstances, but it's really speaking for the entire, as we know, human race. This film, and what a way to deliver a film like this, to set it up in a very natural, personal yet epic, grand way, and for it to continue like this, to go very dark in the middle, and in the end as well. But really, the final kind of feeling is this overwhelming sense of kind of hope, and this inspiration, and just this man, of course, aided by fellow humans, but this individual who just persevered, he kept going despite all the kind of the system against him entirely, and just really persevering, standing up for humanity, and just freedom, just democracy, of course, and it's a beautiful film. It really is, and I just think every single performance in this, Claude Rains, with such complexity and sympathy at times, for this. Essentially this villain, but the whole system, it's the whole kind of corrupt system, the greed, and every character involved in this, it's all kind of the villain of the film, really. And I guess the more prominent individual in the centre of this is, Claude Rains, his character, but it's the whole system, and Jimmy Stewart's fight, Jefferson Smith's fight for this, against this and through this, until he literally faints, and that is the ending, and just the kind of reaction from Saunders. I was just so uplifted, and just smiling so much at this. I was crying from this. It's just such a beautiful ending. Such a stunning masterwork, and one of the best films ever made. Just the score to this film, of course, once again Dmitri Tiomkin scoring this film, and as well working on It's Wonderful Life. That's one I'm thinking, of course, at the moment, because I just recently rewatched that, and it's one of my favourite kind of film scores really of all time. And once again, this film here, the score to this by Tiomkin is just really is so magical, and just so kind of I love the kind of way in which, as well, for example, different kind of songs, kind of hymns, of course, being used, incorporated into the score, kind of instrumental versions of this, and Auld Lang Syne as well. Once again, being used in this film. It's literally every Frank Capra that I've kind of seen, and it's just of course, good on him. It's great to hear, and he always uses it so well, and it's just such a kind of mythic film, actually, this one, and the score really adds to this. It's part of the narrative and the feeling and just the scope of this film. It's all kind of it's down to as well. Just one of the many kind of elements of this film, the moving parts, the score, just Joseph Walker as well, working on cinematography for this film, and I just love the way this is shot, the framing, and just of course, the Lincoln Memorial, for example, when Jimmy Stewart is kind of framed around this, and all these different moments in particular, just bring this kind of, what they do, they channel this so perfectly, the sense of wonder and awe, and just kind of, he initially feels, he is naive, of course, but he feels like the entire system, is kind of working for, the kind of ideals, of course, this democracy that's being passed down from, for example, individuals like Abraham Lincoln, and just the sense that things have been lost, perhaps in the equation, and that's what he as well stands up for in the film, and he just keeps going, and as I say, ending with that mind-blowing moment when he faints, and that scene in particular is one of the very best for me acted scenes of all time, and just the kind of the subtleties, but it's really theatrical and grand, and in such a perfect way. I love how this is set up. It really is natural at times, the dialogue, and the way this is shot, and just the sense of location, but it has this kind of urgency as well, this grand, majestic feeling, and kind of perfectly balancing this out throughout the entire film, and it really is, especially the first, as I say, 40 minutes or so, and the last half an hour. This is just mind-blowing cinema, and I love the entire film. I think it's one of the best written films, directed films, and certainly acted films. Jimmy Stewart, just unbelievable. I just really admire this individual so much. Has brought me so much joy, as well, throughout many different films, but specifically on this film here. I think it's one of his very best performances, and I think we'll kind of wrap up now. I think I'd probably have more to say, of course, on a rewatch, but just cherishing the feelings I got from this film, and I encourage, if of course one has not seen this film, just to watch this film, and to kind of see what you think, because in places really life-changing, and one of in places the ultimate films in that sense, kind of encompassing so many different things, relating to life, the human race, equality, hope, freedom, just and showing really kind of outlining the corruption within the system, in this occasion, and just it really does moves me so much, and I think just even the kind of villains of the film, complexities, and different kind of ways in which they're built up, and really a variety of different emotions, but in the end just overwhelming, and how uplifting it is, and just how inspiring it is, and satisfying it is, and as I say, I would have loved to have seen Jeff's kind of reaction to this, and there's perhaps more scenes as well afterwards, with Saunders, but in the way this was going, in the way it ended, stunning, regardless, and just it moved me so much, and as I say, such a feel-good film, so uplifting, and full of hope, and just what a film. Frank Capra, again, I feel underappreciated. He does get praise, of course, and over time, films like It's a Wonderful Life, for example, have grown to be some of the most popular. But I feel even still, he really is, from what I've seen, only 4 films, but that's enough to say he really, really is one of the absolute, very, very best filmmakers of all time. And I won't say where I put this on my ranking so far, but it's just an absolute masterwork. And once again, yes, a masterpiece, absolutely stunning, and one of my favourites. Perhaps not quite my top 100 overall, but it really is one of the best films I've ever seen. And I understand how this is so loved instantly. Connecting to every single element of this film, and just being so invested in its narrative, and just rooting for this relatable, likable, and human, warm character played by, of course, one of the greatest actors of all time, as I say, Jimmy Stewart, and yes, as I say, very, very close by the numbers to being his best kind of role, actually, performance, I guess, and just the level of emotion that he conveyed in this film, and variety of emotions, and just how he went from this naive kind of character to this wow, well, we know it was in the end a real hero, and one that he really, Jimmy Stewart gave his all in this film. Once again, hats off, and just kind of in awe of this, and quite kind of taken aback by this level of acting here. But yes, we'll wrap up, and if you're wondering, my final rating for Mr. Smith Goes to Washington is a extremely, extremely high score of 100% plus. Tier 2, yes indeed, one of the best films ever made, and just at least among them, and especially the final act is just mind-blowing. It really, really is, and just thinking on these kind of last moments of the film, it's unbelievable, this film, and just mind-blowing, and sincere, personal, and always focusing on the emotions, of these characters and how they're reacting to the system, and it's not just kind of it really is focusing. It's a political film, but it really is how it's relating to these individuals, kind of their ideals, their emotions, and it's a personal epic in many ways, and it really is just a flawless masterwork in my opinion, and yes, just what an experience, and really looking forward to kind of watching, of course, the rest of the Frank Capras, picking another one up very recently as well, just really wanting to see every single film that he made, and of course over time watching as many Jimmy Stewarts as well as I can, and eventually one day seeing every single film that he was in, and just loving though, cherishing these moments, and going through them gradually, and eventually just bringing more and more reviews, I guess, and discussions, of the films that he starred in, and yes, just one of my favourite, just individuals, in general, and really so inspiring, and such a great person, and a truly legendary actor. And so yes, that's my thoughts. What do you think of this film? It'd be great to know, and I'd love to hear your thoughts on this, and Jimmy Stewart, of course, and as I say, Frank Capra, always discussing his work is just, it's really great to do, and I look forward to eventually doing the kind of Frank Capra ranking, and that'll be some task. I am deciding as well, perhaps what I prefer, between this and another Frank Capra already, and I've only seen 4, so it's already kind of perhaps tricky in places, but I will get that eventually, and I look forward to cherishing, and kind of gradually going through his work. I'm not going to rush this, because every film just cherishing, and of course from then, as I always say, perhaps I've said before, but I always think you don't love a film until you've seen it, and from there you can kind of develop a relationship with a film, and kind of care for a film, put it in a list, or kind of thing, rewatch films, again and again, as many times as you want, and yes, I look forward to rewatching this, and I look forward to first time watches, of course, of these Frank Capras, but I always prefer kind of rewatches anyway. It's just what I do. It's kind of the best thing I feel is rewatching one of your favourites, knowing how much you love a film, but not quite. Perhaps being being ready for a film to kind of blow you away all over again, but perhaps kind of an even greater kind of degree, and just yes, as I say, looking forward to reviewing more of his work though, and yes, that's it for now. We'll end it there. Be great to hear your thoughts. This would be amazing to hear what you have to say about this film, and just to hear kind of discussions. Frank Capra, Jimmy Stewart. It's magic. This is classic cinema, and it's what I love the most overall, and just so many films I've yet to see, and just very excited. I look forward to just every single film that I've got on my kind of watch list, and always kind of discovering more films as well that I've perhaps never heard of before, or really films that have not been in my sights, and then they kind of draw my attention, and to them, and just yes, that is the way of cinema. It's overwhelming. Kind of course, more than 100 years, of cinema, and what a treat that is for us. And it'd be great to hear your thoughts and discuss this film. And I look forward to continuing this, this discussion on different films, on the channel. And just as I say, really just excited about the rest of the year. And yes, just look forward to next month, next week, and as I say, tomorrow. It brings so many possibilities, and just the privilege to discuss cinema on this channel, and I look forward to continuing this as we go forward on the channel, and just positivity, and really just carrying on, just like of course our protagonist of this film, really just keeping this sense of hope, and yes, just to keep going, and yes, as always, take care, and thanks for watching.